Is a time when we learn more in depth of what most of us have been learning our whole lives. We learn how to integrate our faith into our everyday lives, the history of our faith, and how to help others find Christ, learning what it truly means to be a Christian. With this new knowledge and understanding, we can progress more in our faith as we enter adulthood. How does one become a Christian? To someone who didn't know, it would seem like a daunting task, but the reality is that all one has to do is accept Jesus into their heart, is to ask him. Romans 10:9-10 says, "If you declare with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe that in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. For it is with your heart that you believe and are justified, and it is with your mouth that you profess the faith and are saved." While becoming a Christian is easy, the most difficult part is truly believing God's truth. For while it's easy to say the words, it is another to consider it truthful in your heart. For me personally, I became a Christian at age 4, lying in bed with my mom after reading a Bible story. I remember her asking me if I wanted to accept Jesus into my heart, and I was thrilled to say the prayer with her, and for years after, like to imagine a tiny Jesus living in a tiny house inside my heart. It's that easy to declare you want Christ in your heart and believe it. From there on out, I was in Frogs, Kicks, Kids Choir, Pioneer Girls, and VBS every summer. I learned the simple lessons and morals of the Bible, to love my neighbor as myself, that God was always with me, and to read my Bible and pray often. These are all important things to learn and understand, but as mentioned before, the most important part is truly accepting that in your heart. Some non-believers may think that life without faith and life as a Christian aren't much different. That you go to church on Sundays and pray before each meal, and that's about all. But that's not the case. One of the most important things I've learned about everyday life as a Christian in more recent years is that we should love every single person we meet or simply pass by to the best of our ability. One of my favorite verses is 1 Corinthians 16:13-14. Be on your guard, stand firm in the faith, be courageous, and be strong. Do everything in love. Very clearly, the Bible tells us that everything we do should be out of love, and that's what Christian life is all about. Our lives are different because we care about others over ourselves. Another important lesson to be learned and put into practice in the Christian life is that we never have to worry. Matthew 6:34 says, "Therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own." This verse shows that as Christians, we never have to worry about the troubles of days ahead because God is always providing and will always take care of us. It is a common teaching of the Bible that we tend to forget, but when it is remembered, it makes life much less stressful and tense. In this way, life as a Christian is much different than life without faith. These are just some of the important lessons I have learned and is a part of what I see as an important part of my life as a Christian. But there are also other attributes beside it. Galatians 5:22-23 says, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law." All of these qualities are something I personally pursue in my life because this verse is such a clear template of how we should act as Christians. In my life as a Christian, I have also learned that God is flexible. As humans, we all make mistakes no matter how hard we try, and God understands that. God doesn't sit and wait for us to mess up to discipline us because he loves us and wants us to succeed and do good things in his name. This has been a great comfort to me because it can be hard to fathom the magnitude of God's grace, but with this reminder, it is easier to accept my mistakes and correct them. Confirmation has taught me many lessons, like how to deal with difficult situations and how to treat other people. But the most important thing that occurred during my time in confirmation was the strengthening of my relationship with Christ. Through research and reflecting I experienced during this time, I have truly gotten to know God and what my relationship with him means in everyday life and overall.